Hi, and welcome to an RPM feature breakdown. Today we're going to be talking about IP allow list. This is a feature that kind of is an optional enhancement to security options for your RPM login. It pretty much allows you to set specific IP addresses for your staff users to have to be under, or their computer network has to be under, to access your RPM subscription. So this feature is kind of useful if your whole environment of RPM users is using things like a VPN or like virtual machines that have set IP addresses that they access through your company or anything like that. So what you would do is you'd use those IP addresses that are generated by your like VPN, and you just set it in this IP allow list so that your users have to be on the VPN in order to log into your RPM subscription. One thing to note is that this doesn't affect agency users. So any agency users that are just logging in to check their commissions and stuff, we felt that security wise, they're already limited to what they can see in terms of whatever they're assigned and then what you let them see in terms of processes and all that stuff. So we didn't really need to limit their IP addresses anyways. But yeah, that's one thing to keep in mind. If somebody would like to see that as a feature add-on, we could always look into that as well. If you want to say add agency users to the IP allow list and then only force them to use your virtual machine or VPN to log in, that can be something we look into adding in the future as well. But yeah, before I blabber on too much, let's jump right into the RPM here and let me show you how to get to this feature. So it'll be located in the top left menu under setup. And then we're going into security settings here. And then at the very bottom, you'll see this IP allow list option. You'll be able to set this now to enabled, and then you'll be able to add any number of IP addresses and users. Ideally, you name them something like internal VPN, and then you give it an IP address. You can add additional IP addresses here, things like that. You'll notice if you type like a fake IP address in, it has to follow a specific format. It won't particularly work. I'll just give you this error. And if you try to submit it, it'll give you an error warning and all that stuff. You can also add your current IP address that you're using on your current computer. If you're not sure what the IP address is, you might want to add that in and just have it there so you can always log in. One other thing to note is that this only affects staff users, so that doesn't include your admin users. So your super users can always log in because we don't want you to lock yourself out. So that's another thing that the super user login kind of grants you, is you can always access your RPM subscription regardless of the IP address. So yeah. And then from there, if anyone tries to log in, they'll get this IP restricted message if their IP address isn't found on this list. So we really recommend that you throw in a proper contact, like an email address to whoever's in charge of the IP list, as well as anything like any other things to reach out, maybe a phone number or things like that, and just to clarify, hey, you need to reach out to us. If somebody's email makes it to RPM, we'll redirect them to you anyways, saying like, oh yeah, we don't control our users IP allow list, so you'll have to contact the system admin of your subscription. So yeah, if you were to type in here, this is a rich text box, so you can make things bold. You can add extra text and things like that, and you can always reset it to default. But yeah, so that's pretty much it. So you can, yeah, add a whole bunch of different IP addresses and names, and as well as add your current one, and then you can also disable this at any time. But that is pretty much the IP address allow list feature. If you have any questions, please email us at support@rpmtelco.com. And for anything else, you can always reach out to us anyways. Thanks again.